It's the end of 2020, and it has been an unexplainably horrible year. It's been hideous. But I think if a bat virus could stop our world in its tracks, then we can transform that energy toward good. So it's been a pandemic. The country's divided. There's the poisonous legacy of racism and inequity. People are dying. The West has been burning. Some places are underwater. And good riddance to the hottest year yet. And additionally, in 2020, you as nurses have been facing air starving COVID patients while experiencing fear and confusion and burnout, which I guess now it's called burnover, but whatever you call it, it feels abysmal. So people beyond healthcare don't really get what you're going through, the constant drumbeat of suffering, the marrow deep exhaustion, your anxiety about staffing, worrying about sick colleagues, agonizing still over your budget, hunting for PPE, tending to colleagues that may have lost the equilibrium that they once had, deliberating how to use the formerly marginally toxic workers who are now barely functional, healing patients sick with COVID that still believe there's no pandemic. And somehow you're trying to float above that soul scouring, gut wrenching grief. So humor me for a second. And I know that's probably more time that you have, but just stay with me for a little bit longer. Is it possible that maybe in a minute or two at a time, a second even, we can find a glimmer of grace? If you think about the possibilities, they might be there. The exhilaration that you have when you save a patient together as a sweaty, exhausted team that works so well together. Laughter about what your kids said when you stripped your scrubs off in the garage before you went in to take your shower about your COVID body, right? The neighborhood doe and her two adolescents that chomp on your bushes, serenely knowing that there's no pandemic as far as they're concerned. The crows who are so excited as you drive back over the luscious acorns on your car's path as you go another day in a mask and a shield. Maybe that exhilaration and joy at locating a new PPE source. These are momentary times. But remember that throughout this pandemic, we could linger gratefully on that which has become even more dear to us throughout the pandemic. The faces of our families and friends, the zooming faces and expressions of the fact we even have Zoom, the songs that keep us going, some brief interludes of laughter that envelop us with joy, faith that we have now that there could be a better world coming soon as we all get vaccinated. And we are tending to be much more precious about our time with our loved ones. And the words of the scientists that we hang on, and they help us do our work more effectively as we experience and try new techniques such as proning. So remember that the labor that we are permitted to do is a startlingly beautiful, life-saving struggle and compassionate presence in suffering. And therefore, if anyone has a right to transform the effects of this malevolent virus, nurses do. So why not dream big? If a virus emanating from a market bat in China could stop our world in its tracks, let's convert its energy toward good. Could this disaster be the time that we begin to value each other, that we begin to look at health equity in a different way? Could this be the time that we value global health of all the peoples of the world? This malevolent virus cannot stop us from using its effects to make life better. So let's transform this moment toward equity and healthcare for all to a better 2021.